Hello everyone. Today we are going to see the calculations on heat balance sheet. On the left side you can see a schematic diagram for the engine test setup. Here on this side you will find a dynamometer is connected to the engine. Engine is having some temperature sensors located onto it, which will be measuring the incoming water temperature and outgoing water temperature from the engine. That is nothing but the cooling water supply to the engine. On this side you will find a calorimeter. It is nothing but a heat exchanger which will exchange the heat between the exhaust gases which are coming out of the engine and between the water supplied inside this calorimeter. Here you can see T1 is the inlet temperature to the calorimeter. T2 is the outlet temperature from the calorimeter of the water. From this side you will find the water is coming to the engine. T6 is the temperature of water going inside the engine for cooling. Then T7 is the water which is coming out of the engine cooling system. T8 is the temperature of incoming air to the engine. Then the combustion process will complete into the engine and exhaust gases will be created. These exhaust gases will get exhausted through this pipeline, and hence we are measuring the temperature of the exhaust gases coming out of the engine. Here T4 is the temperature of exhaust gas going inside the calorimeter, and T5 is the temperature of the exhaust gas coming out of the calorimeter. From here the exhaust gases will be thrown into the atmosphere. So how to calculate the heat balance sheet? For that, these are the parameters which are given, constants which are given to you. That is, the calorific value of the fuel is given to you. Basically this test was performed on a diesel engine, so calorific value of diesel is given over here. Orifice diameter is given to be 29.8 mm. This orifice diameter is of the orifice which is fitted onto the air box through which the air is coming to the engine. The coefficient of discharge of that orifice is also given to you. Density of air, specific heat of cooling water, and density of fuel. These parameters are given to you. So basically what is heat balance sheet? It is nothing but a balancing or a table which will give you the idea where the heat which is generated or which heat which is supplied to the engine is getting bifurcated or it is getting lost at different locations, right? And out of that some heat will get converted into useful work, some heat will get lost to the atmosphere. So we are going to calculate all those heats and we are going to see how the heat distribution is there inside the whole test setup. Basically heat balance sheet is calculated on kilojoule per minute and percentage basis. So you can see the table which will show you the different heat expenses. So first one is heat supplied to the engine. Next is heat equivalent to brake power, which means the amount of heat which is getting converted into the useful work. Next column is heat carried away by cooling water, which means the heat which is carried away by the cooling water supplied to the engine. Then heat lost by exhaust gas into the calorimeter. As we are supplying that gas to inside this calorimeter and we are having a water supply, the water will absorb the heat of these exhaust gases inside a calorimeter, and hence the temperature of these exhaust gases will drop down. So we are going to calculate what is the amount of heat lost by exhaust gases into the calorimeter. Then once this heat is uh, absorbed by the water, the low temperature gases will be sent to the atmosphere, and we are going to calculate how much is the amount of heat which is lost to the atmosphere by the exhaust gases. Obviously, though we are calculating the heat carried at or heat lost at all the points, there will be some unaccounted loss that will be considered at the end. So let us take example of first one reading. Here you can see the load 9 kg, speed 1580 rpm. The height of water column inside the U-tube manometer is to be 130 and 82. So here we have calculated the difference in the height, that is in terms of head of water in mm. Then we are having a time for 10 cc consumption of the fuel. The water supplied to the engine and calorimeter is at a rate of 6 liters per minute. Then we have measured the temperatures at different locations, that is water inlet temperature to the calorimeter is T1 47 degrees centigrade, water outlet temperature from the calorimeter T2 55 degrees centigrade, exhaust gas outlet temperature from the engine was 225 degrees centigrade, exhaust gas temperature when the exhaust gas is fed to the calorimeter is 220 degrees centigrade. Exhaust gas outlet temperature from the calorimeter is 115 degrees centigrade. Water inlet temperature to engine is 28 degree. Water outlet from the engine is 47 degree. And ambient temperature of the air was 32 degree. Let us start with the calculations. First of all, I will be calculating the mass flow rate of the fuel. For that, I will calculate first volume flow rate of the fuel, which is equal to, this is 10 into 10 raised to 6 is nothing but I have converted this 10 cc fuel of consumption into 10 meter cube of fuel consumption, right? So I have written it in terms of meter cube divided by the time required to consume that amount of fuel. So this will give you, time was 18.5. So that is 5.4 into 10 raised to minus 7 meter cube per second. So that is the volume flow rate of fuel. Multiplying it by density of the fuel, you will get 2.6837 into 10 raised to minus 2 kg per minute. And that's why I have multiplied this value by 60. So this is the volume flow rate into density of fuel into 60 will give me answer in kg per minute, because the volume flow rate was at meter cube per second. Next is head of air, because we have calculated the difference between the water level inside the U-tube manometer, right? That is the head of water. So I have to convert this head of water into head of air, which is equal to delta H into density of water divided by air minus 1. So this is 41.33 meters of head of air. So I can calculate the mass flow rate of air is equal to density into the volume flow rate, right? So density of the air into coefficient of discharge from the orifice through which the air is going to be inside the combustion chamber. Then area of orifice, that is pi by 4 into diameter of the orifice square into root 2 g into h. H is nothing but head of air. So that is 0.8842 kg per minute. Next is heat supplied. How I can calculate heat supplied? That is nothing but mass flow rate of fuel which is supplied to the engine into the energy content of the fuel. That is nothing but the calorific value of the fuel. So mass flow rate of the fuel into the calorific value. This will give me 1202.33 kilojoule per minute of heat supply. Next, I will calculate heat equivalent to brake power. So first of all, I will calculate simply the brake power, which is generally in terms of kilowatt. Multiplying it by 60 will give me kilojoule per minute. So that is 2 pi nt by 60,000. For your simplicity, the formula for the particular diesel engine is given by the manufacturer to be as Wn upon 2000 into 0.746. So I am putting directly value of W, that is 9 kg, into speed of the engine divided by 2000 into 0.746 into 60 to make it into kilojoule per minute. So I'll get 318.2 kilojoule per minute of heat which is converted into the brake power. Next, I will calculate heat carried away by cooling water. So the cooling water is supplied to the engine, right? So we have to measure what is the amount of energy which is, or heat which is absorbed by the water. So first of all, we should know mass flow rate of water, which is given to you as 6 lpm into specific heat of water, that is 4.18 into T7 minus T6. In earlier, I have already shown you the schematic diagram where the engine inlet temperature of the water is taken to be T6 and engine outlet temperature of the water is taken to be T7. So T7 minus T6, that is MCP delta T, which will give me heat carried away by cooling water from the engine is to be 477.2 kilojoule per minute. On similar basis, I will calculate heat lost by exhaust gases into the calorimeter, which is again equal to MCP del T. So mass of water supply, again we have kept constant, that is 6 lpm. Cp of water, it is again same 4.186 into T2 and T1. What is T2 and T1? We have seen into the diagram that T1 is the temperature of the water which is coming into the calorimeter. T2 is the temperature of water going out of the calorimeter, which means once the water will absorb the heat, the temperature of the water will increase, and hence I am making it to be T2 minus T1. That is equal to 200.97 kilojoule per minute. So that is the heat carried away by the cooling water which is supplied into the calorimeter, or that is nothing but the heat which is given out by the, or heat which is lost by the exhaust gases into the calorimeter. So I can write heat of exhaust gases absorbed by cooling water is nothing but equal to heat of exhaust gases lost to the water. So I can write this as mass flow rate of water into Cp into delta T has to be equal to mass flow rate of gas into Cp of gas into delta T. Delta T, now here the delta T should be the inlet temperature of gas minus the outlet temperature of exhaust gas from the calorimeter. I am equating the heat exchanged between the water and the gas so that I can calculate the specific heat of a gas, because the specific heat of a gas is not given to you. For that, first of all, I need to calculate the mass flow rate of a gas. So for your simplicity, I'll consider the mass flow rate of gas is equal to mass flow rate of air plus mass flow rate of fuel. The total quantity which is going in has to come out. Otherwise, there will be accumulation of the mass, right? And hence, I am considering it to be mass of gas is equal to mass of air plus mass flow rate of fuel. So this will give me 0.911 kg per minute of flow rate of the exhaust gas. So I'll put all those values into this one so that I can calculate the specific heat of a gas. So specific heat of gas is calculated to be 2.09 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Next, I'll calculate heat lost to the atmosphere. Now I know mass flow rate of gas, which is going to be same, into specific heat of gas which I have calculated, and I know what is the exhaust temperature from the calorimeter, and I know the ambient temperature of the air. So whatever the heat lost to the atmosphere is nothing but the temperature difference between these two, right? and hence that is mCp del T is equal to T5 minus T8. So that is T5 exhaust gas out from the calorimeter minus ambient temperature. So this will give me 158.866 kilojoule per minute of heat which is lost to the atmosphere. So we have calculated all the heat, right? So only thing which is remaining is unaccounted heat loss. Though we are considering as much of the heat losses to the engine, but there are still losses which are through the convection, conduction, the radiation, vibration, sound, etc., light, etc. Energy will be lost through that medium also, and hence we are considering all those unknown factors to be into one, and we are considering it to be unaccounted loss. So unaccounted loss will be equal to heat supplied minus all the heat losses or all the heat with expenses. I am not saying loss because into that we are also considering the brake power, and brake power is not a loss to the engine, right? It is a useful work. So except that all are losses. So subtracting all those losses from the heat supplied, you will get unaccounted heat loss, which is equal to 47.04 kilojoule per minute. So now I can write easily as heat supplied equal to, in terms of kilojoule per minute, heat equivalent to brake power, heat carried away by cooling water, heat carried away by cooling water in calorimeter, heat loss to the atmosphere, and unaccounted heat loss on kilojoule per minute basis. Similarly on percentage basis. So heat supplied, we'll consider it to be 100%, and then we'll calculate how much is the percentage of each heat loss. That is heat equivalent to brake power. I'll divide 318.24 divided by 1202 into 100 will give me the percentage of heat equivalent to brake power. So and so forth. Again I will divide 477.2 divided by 1202 will give me into 100 will give me heat carried away, percentage of heat carried away by cooling water. So this is how we'll calculate heat balance sheet.